Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Turtle Media video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips and tricks that I use to help me get awesome looking 8-bit designs on all my custom stages in Smash Bros. Number 1. Straight line method. Number 2. Objective layer switching. Number 3. The hole technique. Number 4. Minimalist tracing. And the most important of all, number 5. The 8-bit Photolab app. With these 5 steps, you'll be able to design your own personal 8-bit stages in no time. Be sure to subscribe and share your ID codes for the stages you've built using my 5 tips in the comment section below. Tip number 1. The straight line method is as simple as it sounds, a way to draw a straight line every single time. So you've drawn half of your symmetrical design and counting the pixels is starting to hurt your eyes. Well, the straight line method will send your line perfectly straight across the grid, even if your cursor isn't in the right spot. For example, I need the line to come across to the same position as this line, but let's just imagine I can't see if I'm lined up straight, and I don't want to count out all the pixels to ensure the same length. Find the position on the opposing side of your shape, scroll back up using the right analog stick to ensure you don't change your grid line position. Now whilst holding down R, select the position for the line and it will travel straight across. If my cursor was slightly off, the line still would have kept straight along its existing grid line, instead of giving an angled line. The holding of R can also be used to create perfect circles or perfect squares. Tip number 2. Knowing your layers is very important when it comes to designing a stage on Smash Bros. If you draw an object on the wrong layer, don't worry, it can be moved back and forth between layers. Whilst in Edit, select the object you need to change the layer of. Hold in ZR or LR and use the D-pad up and down to move the layer back and forth. This technique will also come in handy during tip number 4. If I had known this trick when I first started building stages, it would have saved me a whole lot of time on my Charizard stage. Tip number 3. So you need to draw an object with a hole in the center, but when you connect, it closes off and adding another object in the center isn't the same because of the blending effect. Well, there is a way. It will take up slightly more memory space on your stage, but getting the desired design is far more appealing. If you leave a gap and move back in towards the center to outline the hole, you can then add another piece of the same material to overlap the gap. Because of the blending effect, you won't even be able to tell. Take this letter B for example. By leaving a gap and cutting back towards the center, I was able to make a far better designed object with a centerpiece missing and leaving no joining marks. Tip number 4. When doing an 8-bit design, you need to minimize the amount of objects to ensure you don't fill the stage memory before your design is complete, or you'll end up having a Charizard with no eyes like me. It is easier to start out doing a large image in pieces to avoid mistakes. Once you have the design down, simply move the object to the background using tip number 2 and trace over the objects, joining as many of the same material as you can into one single object. This will allow you to minimize overall objects used on your stage, and in turn will free up a lot more space than you expected and overall look better. Now for the final tip. There is an app that I have been using to create my own 8-bit style of existing images. 8-bit Photolab, which you can download from the link in the description. This app allows you to take an existing image and alter the amount of pixels in the resolution. But how many pixels are on the stages, you ask? Well, I have the answer for you. All stage sizes have 2 sections, the viewable area and drawable area. Depending on the size of stage you choose, the pixel range gets larger. If you want your entire image to show on the stage, adjust the pixels on 8-bit Photolab to the drawable area. You need to remember that each object requires a minimum amount of pixels or it won't place. For example, a freehand line must cover 2 pixels. A square or a circle must cover 2 pixels up and 2 pixels across. This means you may need to add your own touch to some of the images you get back from the app. Reducing the amount of color in the image will help, but also will ruin some images. Not every design will work in 8-bit when you're reducing the pixel resolution down to so little. Once you have downloaded the 8-bit Photolab app, go onto Google and find yourself a design you want. Try to keep them simple and remember, the less colors the better. Save this image and open your 8-bit Photolab app. Open the downloaded image from your gallery. Now, on the bottom toolbar, you will see a bunch of different options. Feel free to explore them on your own interest, but for this tutorial you will only need to utilize the first two options. Number 1. Changing the amount of pixels in the resolution of your image. I'm going to save my image to around 41 pixel mark, as it gives a nice symmetrical shape. Number 2. Selecting the amount of color options that will display in your image. My image was already only 2 colors, so I'm just going to go with the options that keeps the image looking as close to original as possible. And once you have the desired image and are happy with the results, time to save the edit. I, however, like to take a screenshot. This makes it easier to count the pixels as the grid overlay will not disappear. Open up the image from your gallery, and now it's time to get to work. Awesome! So now you're ready to go create your own 8-bit stage. Don't forget to share your idea in the comments below. I will review some in upcoming videos and look forward to seeing your creations. If you have your own technique that you use, let us know in the comment section below. If this video helped, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.